Welcome everyone to the City Council meeting for January 23rd. If we could have a roll call to establish quorum, please, ma'am.
Vicki Snyder.
Here.
David Mitchell.
Here.
Bob Thomas.
Here.
Christy Kendrick.
Here.
Peg Adamson.
Here.
Terry McClung.
I am here.
We have 6.
All right. If we could have a pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If we can get a motion to approve the agenda, please.
Second.
Any additions?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to add consideration of the Arkansas Municipal League's Code of Conduct.
Second? Second.
Okay.
No, well, I did too, whatever. What is it?
Does anybody else have anything? We're going to, Mr. McClung?
Yeah, I understand you're going to postpone number 1.
That's true. Yeah, the surveyors haven't gotten everything completed yet.
Can I ask who's doing that, or what's the problem?
I'm not sure. We were trying to find out today. We were just notified. Ann, do you know something?
They're seeking a document that describes the road easement, the existing road easement, and Barbara's going to have her surveyor get with the other surveyor to help him understand that there is a plan. So hopefully on the next
Whatever
meeting.
that means. I mean, are you talking about for Dairy Hollow Road?
Dairy Hollow Road. Right.
There's no legal description on it, or there's no definition of it, I guess.
They're looking for an easement.
Because the city limits used to sit, or that's where that survey ends. That used to be the end of things. Not like falling off the world end, but, you know.
That's true on the eastern, on the western line. But Dairy Hollow Road itself, where the people are responsible to the center of the
Right.
road,
There's
so
no
the
definition.
two surveyors need to communicate and recognize the fact that in those days, those documents were not prepared. The road went where the road went.
Right.
Okay. So, yes, that one, we will
Okay.
postpone that until hopefully the next meeting.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else? All right. All those in favor of approving the agenda as amended, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. So moved. The motion to approve the minutes for
So
January
moved.
9th.
So moved.
Second.
Any corrections? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. This comes the time when I get to talk to you in the city about the state of the city. We kind of went through a little preliminary budget review a little bit earlier. And as most of y'all know, I think we're very fortunate to be served by departments and the workers within the city who are really dedicated to serving the city in the best possible manner, in the most efficient manner. What I'm going to do is highlight some of the department and commission works that we did in 2016 to give you a glimpse of their work and what they've done to help EUREKA. Now, you remember, as I mentioned before, and I think it's noted that in 2016 we had a physical freeze that we personally saw and I witnessed, and we reflected in the budgets. All the departments and commissions pulling together to, figure out how to accomplish this, giving the city all their work and services within a very tight budget. And here's some of the ideas that we had was during the police department. In the police department, they had over 1,600, almost 1,700 calls for police officers during the year 2016. There was over 840 incident reports taken, with 1,120 citations issued. They had 320 arrests that were made. And a lot of people won't believe it, but there were over 183 noise violations that were issued on there.
Great.
So, you know, what they also accomplished was they worked with the schools along in conjunction with the fire and EMS to do a training for active training at the schools. They've also continued to build a community outreach and participated in the programs such as the Shop with a Cop. And they worked a lot with also the domestic violence advocacy programs. So they were also awarded a $10,000 non-matching grant to purchase officer safety equipment in through there. The fire department, we had a turnover in the fire chief last year with the resignation of Randy Yates. And we appointed Nick Samak, who has been with the fire department for over 20 years. Chief Samak had worked real well with the fire department and has done great with reducing our spending and still providing improved responsibility with that. The fire department had over 178 fire and rescue incidents last year. The EMS had over, which is the ambulance, had over 1,300 incidences, which was about a 100-call increase over 2015. And remember, this is done with 12 full-time firefighters and with 25 volunteers in through there. The public works is probably one of our biggest concerns, and in reviewing and planning for the 2017, we've renewed our efforts to reduce expenses and still maintaining as best we can the city infrastructure. We're able to cut costs and boost revenues in 2016. It's the first time in several years that we've been able to do that. But we're constantly looking at ways that we're going to be able to improve the public works sustainability. The department's goals is to identify the critical investment in our infrastructure that's going to allow us to achieve long-term fiscal responsibility and stability. As we all know, unless we invest wisely and adequately, our expenses are going to become unsustainable. I think the primary focus of our water department and the council, with the council help, was finishing the water replacement, water meter replacements that we had in through there. One of our constant sources of water loss was through the malfunctioning water meters, both residential and commercial. And I know the council is going to be glad to hear that we only have 12 commercial water meters left to replace. This has been a long, extended period of going through. But those meters are the ones that have been identified, and we'll have 83% of our residential meters completed. All those meters are in stock and have been paid for, so there's no expenses going out for that. Our water sales were the highest in the last 5 years. Now remember also that we also had a water rate increase because we also had a water rate increase from Carroll Boone Water District, so which caused us to have more cost for our money. Now I've directed the sewer department and water department to identify and repair the water leaks. It's going to be a priority for 2017. Our goal is to reduce our water loss by at least 20% in the coming year. Whether we can achieve that, I don't know, but at least that's a goal that we're establishing. We're upgrading our equipment and starting with and start from our storage tank and investigating the entire distribution centers. We're going to be reducing our loss by repairing the leakage and lessening the pressure on several main distribution lines. We're also looking at going in, and we've received a grant last year to help us with our underground drainage down at Armstrong, Steel, Flint combination right in through there. We got held up with that project because the Arkansas State Preservation Program required us to have a cultural inventory made of what's underneath the ground. So that held us up for about 8 months, and we've hired an engineer to come in and give us that report. And as soon as we get the report that there's no, we're hoping it will be a finding of no historical significance under the street, then we'll be able to go ahead and repair that drainage project. And I think that was about a $200,000 grant that we got that was non-matching and through there. Once we get that achieved and finished, then we'll be eligible for more water and sewer grants. We are eligible for the community development block grants as we were last year, which again is the first time in, as far as I can remember, of being eligible for these grants. This will allow us to go in and apply for grants to help us repair our water lines once we get this first project done. One of the problems that we had and we were looking at was repairing our problem areas in our collection of the wastewater mains. And during the flooding of last year, the wastewater treatment facility had extensive damage to the headworks. After repairs and 12 months of effort, we finally received, again, federal and state funding to help us repair and replace that damaged equipment. With the purchase of that and several upgrades, we've extended that plant life again for several more years. And remember, this plant was never completed to the extent that the design was done. We ran out of money 12 years ago to complete that project. So we've been working on a shoestring to maintain it as what we've got. Now with this, we've also had a contractor camera most of the areas and trying to identify the exact location and cause of all these recurring work orders that we have. And with that data, we're going to be again replacing, repairing, jettisoning, and trying to avoid possible damage and disasters that we've had in the past. In 2017, we're going to plan to make upgrades to our wastewater treatment facility that will allow us to treat the waste more efficiently and reduce the use of professional services. Once again, I'm trying to make sure we're being financially self-sufficient and through there. We're presently exploring financing options that we're going to be able to use to construct a bulk chemical storage building, along with expanding our wastewater testing laboratory so we can be doing our testing in-house. Also the possibility of purchasing a generator so we can use generators during peak periods of time as opposed to our electricity. And we're expecting to be able to do that. It will save us more operating cost. We're going to be looking at that instead of building a maintenance facility building, which has been on the plan for the last 2 or 3 years. We've decided, since that's not a help the city financially, that we would try to take that financing that we were used for that and build these facilities that would show us in the long run some savings that we can go on and become financially stable. As most of us know, if we building the chemical storage facility, we hope to save us approximately 50% of our chemical cost per year. So again, that should help us pay for that real quick. The same thing with the generator and also with the chemical testing. With the testing lab, we currently send out all of our testing labs to an out-of-state testing facility. There's problems with time and money that causes by doing that. So if we have our own testing, we'll be able to do that and have immediate results and save the money from that it's costing us. We'll be able to do that without hiring any new employees. During 2016, we had nutrient removal levels that were beyond the design capability of the plant, which has caused significant chemical and utility cost. And we're also looking at, while we're also looking at building the chemical storage facility, we're looking at trying to find additional alternative chemicals that would treat those. In 2017, we're going to be applying for a new 5-year National Pollution Elimination System permit. This license will set the parameters for the coming period for 5 years. Our goal is to remove as many pollutants to as close to zero as our budget will allow. With the superior numbers that we're achieving in reducing our nutrients, we think we can do that without a problem. Going into the transit, I'm proud to say that our transit system in Eureka Springs is the only transit system in the state of Arkansas that is able to be completely self-sufficient and fund itself. The city does not take any of the money out of its general revenues to fund our transit system. All other cities in Arkansas do and supplement that system, whether it's Little Rock, Fort Smith, Fayetteville. So our transit department has done a great job. The rides that were given were up about 3.6% last year, while the tram tour riders was up over 20%, which helped generate a lot of the capital flow for the transit. The transit receives approximately about $780,000 a year in federal and state funding. So they've done a great job in managing their facilities in through there. The CAPC, with the final tax numbers for 2016 calculated through the end of November, the CAPC collected over $1,400,000, which surpassed their projected amount of $1,200,000 by over $100,000, or a 7.7% increase in 2015. So consequently, the 2017 budget was approved, and they decided to raise their standards up to $1.5 million this year. And due to the aggressive shift of internet advertising, they're now capable of reaching a more refined and targeted audiences with their internet. This allows a lot more exposure, and we'll be reaching out into places such as Chicago, Memphis, Nashville, Louisville, Austin, a lot of places out in through there, but also will allow us to hit and concentrate on areas around Eureka Springs, including the Fayetteville, Springdale, Tulsa, the standard markets that we've used for many years. So to keep our festivals and music going on, the CAPC is also still looking to hire a new events coordinator. They hope to have that person in place by early November. The Parks Department has, as many of us know, has over 1,800 acres in land. That's about 0.8 acres per person. 0.8 acres of park area per person. The only other place, after trying to find out other areas in the United States, we're probably one of the best in the continental United States. Alaska is the only state that has more land per person dedicated to the state parks or parks. But parks went into a new transition also. They had a new director hired in March, and he came out of the state park system. So we're real fortunate to be able to have Justin here. One of his process that he was doing was they went in and purchased a new fleet of rental canoes, kayaks, paddle boats, and pedal boats for Lake Leatherwood. And amazingly, those paid for themselves already in the first year that they had. So their rental procedures was improved for Leatherwood. And there was 3 bike camps that were built and delivered out to Lake Leatherwood. Eureka Springs is becoming known for its bicycling. Last year they had participated in the International Mountain Biking Association World Summit that was held over in Bentonville. And many people from all over the world came over to Eureka Springs and experienced our trails and our lakes and loved our area. They're going to be coming back, I'm sure. So what we had for a lot of the improvements in the cabins are starting away, and again trying to come up with more rental personnel or rental income for the parks out there. And they're doing a good job on remodeling it. We had some new furniture and interior stuff that was donated to the parks by some local people here in town. So we're having some decorations out in through there. Overall, the revenue was up about 40% for parks last year, which is again a good sign of people using the area. But looking toward the 2017 goals, we looked when we started out in 2016, we knew the financial challenges we had and would take a lot of action and cooperation from the city council and also the parks, our public, of our directors and able to manage their departments. We had, of course, as we know, we tried to pass a tax, which failed that would help support our auditorium and also go toward the infrastructure in our water and sewer. I've heard from a lot of people that the city's not doing well. Well, I think our tax collections, we've had almost a 2% growth in our sales tax last year. Now, that may not sound much, but over the last 2 years, we've had over 8% increase in sales tax, which I think is doing pretty well. The CAPC, as I mentioned, had over a 7% increase this year. And over the 2015 was again a record year. But that does not help our infrastructure. Our water and sewer has been a major concern for years. And I've told the council earlier that we cannot continue to pass this problem on to other council members, which is something we still need to address. This is something that been going on for over 80 years with very limited amount of work going on because of limited financing. I've said over and over again, that we need to find out a way to address this. And of course, as we mentioned in our budget, we're going to be proposing new water and sewer rates to be able to meet not only our bond covenants, but possibly, if necessary, to help fund our infrastructure and repair our water and sewer lines. We can't continue on losing water through our water lines, through leaking. We're going to have to address that. And so we'll be able to see, hopefully in the next week or two, we'll be presenting to the City Council some proposal for water and sewer rates and what to do on that. But we need to all pull together and come up with the solutions. We know what the problems are. What we need to do is work toward the common solution for the water and sewer, and that's going to take everybody participating. We can't continue to ignore what we can't see and what lays underneath our street that we've been doing for years. We suspended our building, the maintenance building, as I'd mentioned earlier, and we've committed to spend that money on financing and the new capital down at the water and sewer plant, or down at the sewer plants, to help us become self-sufficient. Welcome anybody who's got some other ideas on what we can do to become self-sufficient. I'm willing to listen to any ideas. We all know what the problems are. I'm just looking for solutions. And I think we've got some, and I think the City Council has been good to work with us, and I think between all of us we'll come up with a way that will make 2017 even better than 2016. So I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to speak, and to thank you to be able to serve as mayor of Eureka Springs. It's my honor to do so.
Thank you.
And with that being said, our next item is we have a nomination, I think, for the CAPC from Mr. McClung.
Yes, I'd like to nominate Bobby Foster.
Second?
Okay, got any discussion? Is everybody familiar with Bobby, and are we ready to vote on the matter?
She's done it before, so she is experienced, which is good.
Yep. All right. All those in favor of Bobby Foster being on the CAPC for position 4, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, Bobby. All right. We have Yip Vorbeck on the Cemetery Commission.
Make a motion to approve Yip to continue on with the Cemetery Commission.
Second.
Any comments, questions?
He said here that he's awesome, so he's got to be on.
I think we should publicize this. I think the paper needs to run his app.
All right. All those in favor of appointing the awesome Yip Vorbeck onto the Cemetery Commission, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. And David Sally.
Yep. Second?
This is another renewal. So, any comments?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
David has only been on,
Cemetery.
David has been on about a month, but he's already shown a willingness to work and a real interest in the cemetery, so I'm very happy that he's on the commission.
Good. All right, all those in favor of David Sally, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. So moved. Public comments? None. All right. We have no unfinished business and new...
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Go ahead, you first, and I'll do it after you. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, sir.
I'd like to make a motion to reconsider the demo by neglect committee that was set up, the vote that was taken last week.
Last meeting.
Pardon?
Last meeting.
Last meeting.
Yep.
Right.
What, are you making a motion?
Yes.
I second it.
We've already set the agenda for tonight. Let's proceed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think technically they're right as far as rules of order, but I mean, we can,
I'm sorry, what?
I think by rules of order, we should have put this on the agenda earlier.
You can reconsider it any time
We
in the
can.
meeting.
And okay, I'll call for a reconsideration. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed?
No,
I got
I don't even
confused.
know what it is.
Slow down a minute. What did you want, Andy?
He wants to reconsider the demolition by neglect by committee, that we had the committee appointed to discuss
Oh.
that
Oh.
now, as opposed to waiting until at the next
Is
meeting.
any
and put it
action
the
going
agenda.
on between now and our next meeting?
It can't be reconsidered at the next meeting. It has to be reconsidered
Okay,
tonight.
then I will vote to help reconsider, because I think there needs to be a small discussion on it.
Okay, so 3 and 3.
Voting for his thing.
Got it. 3 and 3.
Wait. I didn't.
Now, wait a minute. In order to bring it up, you have to be ones who voted in the negatives to bring that
Positive.
up.
Did we even
Positive.
vote on it?
City attorney?
One's in the positive.
I don't
You
think we
vote, huh?
voted on it.
One's in the
Oh,
positive.
one in the positive?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so, yeah, I'm confused too.
Okay,
All
so
right.
you're-
Let's start from
you're-
scratch here.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, there wasn't any vote, was there, I thought?
Yes, there was.
May I see?
Oh, okay.
Wait a minute.
I'm confused. I thought we just said, let's do it.
No,
No.
there was definitely a motion because, well, you'll see when you read the minutes.
Mr. Attorney, what's,
Well, I did, but it didn't sink in.
If there's going to be a motion made, it has to be made by the ones that voted in the winning side.
okay.
Right.
Yeah. you're
So
right.
the ones that approved it would have to be the ones that would ask for it to be reconsidered.
So he
And that is the case here.
Okay. Does everybody understand what we're doing?
no. I mean, we're voting, I guess.
It was a
Did you
motion
vote
to-
for it so you can make
It
the
was
motion?
6-0.
Oh, well, you voted for it?
Yes.
It was a motion to reconsider
Well-
demolition by neglect
Do
committee.
discussion.
All right, so Bob is asking for us to reconsider discussion on the demolition and neglect committee that was talked about at the last meeting.
And he got a second.
You got a
Yep.
second?
Now, are we in discussion? Thank you.
Okay.
Why? We vote to reconsider or not.
We don't vote to add it?
Now, we're asking on whether or not we want to
We're in
reconsider.
discussion, real quick. Aren't we? No
On whether
discussion?
or not we need to we want to reconsider it.
Before I want to vote, I'd like to know why it's being brought up.
That's what we're discussing. Why are we bringing it up, right?
No,
Oh,
I just asked.
I don't think there's discussion of the motion to reconsider. I think that's just a vote.
No, it's just a vote to reconsider. There's no discussion on that. It's a priority motion.
Okay, so did we vote?
Not yet. We're voting now. Well,
Actually, you did vote.
we did vote
but we didn't
exactly.
know what it was about. so
Except
we're
Christie
gonna
didn't
Start
vote.
over.
What were you going to say?
I think that
I think in
Christie
the
is
point-
trying to say she didn't vote, and I don't think she did.
I didn't, and
So, the
in
vote
order,
can-
don't we have to have a motion to add it to the agenda?
No, he can have a motion to, that's what he's doing right now, is trying to have a motion to rehear that. And I think you can do that at any time,
As long as it's in the next meeting.
as long as it's in the next meeting.
I see.
Initiated by a winner.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what the vote is, whether or not we want to talk about it tonight. So we're going to talk about it tonight and bring it up. So,
We're missing one vote.
let's do a roll call vote.
Yeah.
This is a
Mr.
motion
Mitchell?
to reconsider, oh, you're going to read it again, sorry.
The motion is to reconsider the demolition by neglect committee. Mr. Mitchell?
No.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Schneider?
Yes?
Ms. Adamson?
Yes.
Ms. Kendrick?
No.
Mr. McClung?
No.
3-3. Let's say,
I don't have to say anything.
that's true, so you're not. Motion fails.
Correct. All right. The next item of new business is the 2017 budget.
He's going to be right. He just ran down to make another copy and asked, could maybe you jump the
Oh,
next one and
okay.
come back?
Yeah, we can go ahead and defer that to the new fire department bylaws. What?
I know before we started into the agenda, we had the representative from HDC here was going to give a brief, and we just skipped him.
I wasn't aware he was going to make a say
Yes,
anything.
it's here.
New one.
I was getting him out of
Isn't
the
he
way.
not?
Yeah, I was asking for permission to make a couple comments.
I don't know. I mean, I just heard, I just didn't.
Yeah, I don't have anything on it, so,
Okay.
yeah, sorry. Going back to the new fire department bylaws.
Motion to discuss?
Second?
Okay. These are, let me find this. All right,
That's it.
I have a question.
okay.
Why does a department of the city have bylaws? Normally, you have bylaws if there's a corporation.
The fire department has it's set up with a combination volunteers and full-time services. And they're set up with a board that reviews procedures. And so they have to have, I think, by law, a set of bylaws in through there. Is that correct, Mr. McClung?
For the volunteer organization, that's correct.
And so that's basically is what they're doing with in getting these approval of the bylaws that for a vote to the council under our ordinance 2.4408.
I would like to clarify what kind of organization this is. Perhaps the
It's a
city
volunteer
attorney.
organization, and it's a review board. I mean, it's basically, what we can do is you want to, we can have this deferred, and we will have the police chief here.
Fire
Fire
chief.
chief.
Fire
Can
chief,
you
brother.
answer my questions?
I can give you somewhat details. I'm not sure what you're wanting to know.
Well, I just would like to understand, is there an entity out there?
Yes, there is.
And
There's a
what kind?
nonprofit entity that the volunteer firemen belong to.
Okay,
And they operate in joint operation with our employed firemen, our
Okay.
full-time firemen.
okay.
And the two organizations, in order to work together, they establish a set of rules of conduct under which how discipline will be handled, who's in charge, making the fire chief of the employed department the head of the entire organization, so that if there's matters that have to be conducted between the two organizations, they have a structure to do that by.
So do the bylaws govern more than the nonprofit?
Have you looked at what you have in your packet?
There's
Yes, I have. And,
what you have before you is a very limited group of rules that they've come up with recently. They were looking at a much more extensive rules in the past that covered a lot more things. They've tried to hash it down to something I think that's a lot more manageable. So I think Mr. McClung has been some of that.
It's been a volunteer fire department long before it was ever a paid department. Back in, in the inception of the city. So that's always been there. It's just streamline things is all they're doing.
I have something.
They're just rewriting it so they can streamline what they do.
Well, my concern is that maybe we are mishmashing.
We're not mishmashing anything.
Well, if this is the bylaws of a nonprofit, and it says it shall be funded by the annual budget of the city, that concerns
We
me.
supply them with certain equipment. We
Okay.
supply them with some of their turnout uniform, I think, and some
Yeah.
radios, and they also, I think, there's some of the equipment that is rolling stock actually may belong to
They
them.
drive the trucks. Well, yeah, part of it is rural, actually. And part of the city trucks are housed in the rural department.
And I think also this has to do with the rural department, because our operations work within the rural department, and so they're trying to have these set of bylaws, again, as Mr. Weaver said, how we're cooperating within those organizations.
They-
Mr. Mitchell, go ahead.
They have joint meetings and have in the past to try to work out details, but this kind of is to lay out a little clearer what they're trying to do right now, which I think is a much more simplified process than what they've been using.
Mr. Mitchell?
And I understand that. I'm still concerned with what Christie says, that somehow the mismatching of the budget, but then you go to Article 5 and it says members of the department shall be automatic for all full-time employees of the city. And you just said very clearly that it was for the volunteers, and then you talked about how they handle things, and we have a personnel policy and an HR group that covers the full-time employees. So now we're mixing in full-time employees that are employees of the city in with the volunteers, and we're putting them under the bylaws. So isn't that blending two different things together?
That is the intent of it, as I understand it, is to allow them to cooperate so that when they're on a fire, that there is unified control and command.
Then
The
why don't
idea is not to leave the volunteers running around doing one thing and the full-time firemen running around doing something else, and then having a lack of command and control from above.
It's like a work umbrella, so everybody works together properly.
Mickey, I got that. Thank you.
Okay, Mr.
No,
McClung?
obviously not.
I suggest we go ahead and defer this to the next meeting and have Nick come down and explain it. I think what Tim has said is sufficient. I understand it because I did it for a long time. But it's no big deal, but have the fire chief come down and next meeting and take care of it. It's not something like it has to be done right this instant anyway, so.
Vicki?
Well, there is one problem. I don't know if Tim can answer it or not. Last page, Article 9, supposed to be within 60 days. That was November 2nd.
That's to be submitted to the council. The council does not have to approve it immediately.
Okay, so that won't hurt anything.
Should not.
Delay. Okay.
It should not. But that they have submitted it. It's here. It's before you.
Okay.
All right, did we get a second on deferring this to the next meeting?
Second. I'll second it.
Okay. Any further discussion on that? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. This will be deferred to the next meeting, and I will have Chief Saback come up and talk to us about this.
Can I, I'm waving at you. What happened to all of our commission reports? Did I miss something? We've got a commissioner here waiting to give a report. What happened?
Well, I wouldn't have, on the reports, I didn't have the report down for the HDC.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
okay,
Yeah. That was the only reason. That was it, Vicki.
okay.
Yeah.
That's what I missed. Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Normally, this is when we go ahead and we talk about the vacancies and stuff as opposed to the reports.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Going back to a motion to discuss the 2017 budget.
So move.
Second.
Okay. All right. Mr. McClung.
We had a workshop earlier, and we had an error. This is a reprint that the finance director has just provided us with the correction on the cemetery funding, and I think if Bob is good with that, I would like to make a motion that we assign this resolution a number and read it for passage.
Second?
Okay, discussion?
I'm trying to find, oh, there it is. Okay. Now I'm here.
All right.
Mr. McClung?
What page are you on?
Yes.
Ms. Kendrick?
Yes.
Ms. Adamson?
What,
Vote yes.
yes. Well,
Vote yes or no.
To
I
read
vote-
for passage.
for what? The budget?
Read the resolution to approve
Yes,
the budget.
yes, thank you.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Schneider?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
6-0.
Yeah, I'm happy too now seeing
Yeah,
that.
that's it. I was on board.
Resolution number will be 701. A resolution providing for and adopting budgets for the city of Eureka Springs, Arkansas for the 12-month period beginning January 1, 2017 and ending December 31, 2017. Appropriating money for each and every item of expenditure therein provided for. Whereas the City Council of the City of Eureka Springs, Arkansas has made a comprehensive study and review of the proposed budgets, and whereas, in the opinion of the City Council, the proposed 2017 budget presents as accurately as possible the city's anticipated revenues and expenditures for the 2017 calendar year, and now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Eureka Springs, Arkansas. Section 1. This resolution shall be known as the budget resolution for the City of Eureka Springs, Arkansas for the 12-month period beginning January 1, 2017 and ending December 31, 2017. And the attached 2017 budget documents reflect estimated revenues and expenditures in detail for the period. All revenues and appropriations are based on estimated revenues, and all estimates are subject to change during the budgetary period. Section 2. The amounts for revenues and expenditures proposed in the 2017 municipal budget are hereby authorized and appropriated for the purposes set forth the calendar year ending December 31, 2017. Estimated revenues for the general fund, $3,361,165. Appropriations for the general fund, $3,359,864. Estimated revenues for the street fund, $731,500, and appropriations, $628,893. Estimated revenues for lot fee, $283,300, and appropriations for the same, $282,500. Estimated revenues for the capital fund, $427,101, and appropriations of $404,804. Estimated revenues for the debt service, $1,305,900, and appropriation for same, $1,269,418. Estimated revenues for court automation, $6,235, and appropriations for same, $4,000. Estimated revenues for the Fireman's Pension Fund, $98,452, and appropriations for the Fireman's Pension Fund, $94,240. Estimated revenues for the Water and Sewer Fund, $1,531,426, and appropriations for the same, $1,527,484. Estimated revenues for the Transit Fund, $1,393,939, and appropriations for the transit fund, $1,240,377.
Okay, next item is the item to consideration of code of conduct.
Motion to discuss.
Second.
Well,
Throw a pin at you.
Violate the code of conduct.
Yeah.
2 years ago, I went down as a new council person to the Municipal League Conference and got my little notebook, and they did a presentation on the need for a code of conduct for some city councils. And I don't know if they've updated this now or
I think it's a pamphlet.
a pamphlet. Yeah. But anyway, their presentation just was that courtesy and respect as a whole has gone down in our society, and it's critically important that we as a council model courtesy and respect at our meetings. They suggest, and they have a sample code of conduct in here, that the city council adopt a code of conduct and actually do training on it once a year. So I would like to make a motion that, at an upcoming meeting, we consider this sample code of conduct and adopt one for the Eureka Springs City Council.
Second.
Okay, discussion. Mr. McClung?
Do we need a dress code too?
You do, I don't.
I come naked, I don't really care.
In that case, we do need a dress code.
We'll bring that up in July.
All right, any other questions?
Does that mean I don't get to get out of line anymore? That's not fun.
Yes.
At the next meeting? You said at a future meeting.
Well,
Nail it
I can
down.
run copies and have this available for everybody to discuss at the next meeting, yes.
Okay, well, we can just put that on our agenda.
Okay.
All right.
We have a
We actually
second.
got a motion and a second, so all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Which brings us to, I think, unless I missed something, agenda setting. And, of course, one of the items will be the code of conduct. Peg?
I would like to have a discussion of raising the sewer rates, whether or not we're prepared to set the amount. I'd like to know where we stand with that.
Okay.
I would also, do we have to vote on that?
No.
She needs a second.
A second.
You had something?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I would love to bring to the attention of the city council and everybody about having a plan for our future of Eureka Springs. You brought up so many things in the city address. And I know that plans have been made in the past, but I'm looking for some specific goals, some good, and not a lot of them. I'm talking about maybe 6 achievable goals for the city of Eureka Springs to look towards. Because right now, there's the financial stuff has been really worked on, working on that. But there's a vision for Eureka Springs that is creative, too. There's a big part of that. And so my idea is, for the agenda, is what is the plan? Do we have a plan? Do we need a plan for the future? Because most of us are older, and we need to be thinking about the future for everyone. And I would like to see Eureka really thriving with a vision. So that's sort of a big deal.
So what is it, you want to put what on the agenda?
It's just,
No, I just want a plan.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. You got me lost.
We do have we've had several plans.
I know.
We have a lot of plans
I know.
downstairs.
It's an implementation.
The main one that we still have and operate under is called the Vision Plan.
Right.
Have you read that?
I have.
And that's still the one we're operating under. Now, as far as concrete items, that's kind of that's something we can have and we can do in a workshop.
Well, I agree that it's a workshop item, but I also would like to bring some ideas to the table, if it's possible. Is it something that I can bring to the table?
It's on the agenda.
Okay.
Did I see somebody else have something on the agenda?
No, because they'll do that under report once they ask you permission to do a report for a commission, so that'll be fine. It doesn't need to be an agenda item.
All right. Any other items? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Maybe they want to put the demolition by neglect committee on the agenda. There's no reason why it can't be. I mean, if Bob wanted to talk about it tonight, we can talk about it 2 weeks. I don't care.
Okay.
Did you hear that?
Get a second?
Well, I'll second it if we can do it.
Why can't we?
Yeah, we can do it. Okay. I mean, we can talk about the committee. The committee hadn't done anything yet, but we've established the committee. So. All right. City Council comments. Bob?
Well, first of all, I really, really would like to say that I appreciate all the contacts and comments that I had regarding my consideration of a resignation, and I was just pleasantly surprised that people do really watch these meetings, and they're aware of what's going on, and they are concerned about how we operate. I'm looking forward to the code of conduct because the last meeting was kind of rough in terms of how we treated each other, how we treated the Parks Department and our city attorney, Mr. Weaver. I think things almost really kind of got out of control. So I'm hoping that we can come up with a code that keeps us on track and keeps everybody positive, and we can all remember that each one of us is 1/6 of a city council. We're all equal. These two have been here for years. Peg's at her second meeting. She's just as important as they are. Everybody brings their own expertise to the table. Nobody's really, that much more important than anybody else. And I think we just need to learn to work together and to work here at the table and not be doing things outside on our own agendas. That's all.
Vicki?
Just want to remind the community that this coming Thursday night, January 26th, from 5 to 9 p.m., the Community Center fundraiser is going to be going on. It's our first annual Winterfest party. It's going to be at the old high school, the gym in the old high school. It's going to be a silent auction. There's going to be food and snacks. Got a whole list of events that I'm not going to bother to read, but it's going to be really, really awesome, and it is the first one that we will be having. Donations start at $15 a person or $30 per family at the door. Please come. We need all the help we can get.
Mr. McClung?
I have nothing, sir.
David?
I'm very proud to have extended my opportunities by joining the CAPC with Mr. McClung. He keeps it interesting for us, and look forward to a prosperous year.
Very good.
Peg?
Yes, I wanted to say thank you to St. James Church for every Sunday night through the winter. I think it goes from 5 until 6:30 p.m. They serve a beautiful meal that's served up by all the different restaurants and hotels in the area. Serves many homeless. lonely, hungry, angry, tired people. And I love going over there. I couldn't make it last night, but it's a good place. And again, thanks. I feel very privileged to be on City Council. I wanted to say that Christy and I went to Little Rock for the Municipal League. We had a great time. It was really interesting. I got really pumped up by the whole thing, and I even wear my Municipal League pin because I love the shape of Arkansas. Thank you.
Thank you. Christie?
I enjoyed the conference as well. Thank you for letting us attend, and it was great to meet officials from all over the state and compare their experiences within their cities with ours. So, thank you.
All right. Upcoming events in the next 2 weeks. Mickey already talked about one of them, which is the first annual Winterfest fundraiser, which is benefiting for the community center. It's going to be in the old high school gym.
I've got more.
January 26th from 5 to 9. And then on Saturday, January 28th from 9 to 5, the Historical Museum is having their third annual garage sale, which is going to be held at the Convention Center. And this is a collection of things from the Historical Museum. So it's a great opportunity to go up and see what all they've got, and people have donated things. So, and then also one of our favorite festivals in town on February the 11th is the Chocolate Lovers Festival. That's going to be from 10 to 3, and it's going to be held at the Convention Center. And I would suggest if you like chocolate and you're planning on going, go early because the chocolates do sell out quick. So other than that, that's it. Get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all.
Don't forget, we got to...